What's happening, Guitar World? This is Kyle Mortensen from the band East of June. Thank you so much for having me be a part of the Sick Riffs column. That was the solo to our debut single, Rebel, which I'm going to break down and show you how to play. As far as gear is concerned, I am currently using my 2018 Les Paul Classic in this sweet honeyburst finish. As far as gear, I tried to emulate pretty much what I did on the recording, which is my Mesa Boogie Mark 525. I've got the lows cut with the mids boosted, a little bit of top end, and I'm running that through my Strymon timeline and just a little bit of compression in Logic. So without further ado, let me break this solo down for you. All right, so we're just gonna dive right into this. I'm gonna try and do my best to break this solo down into simple parts that are really easy to understand. I'm not gonna call out every single note in the solo. It would just take forever to get through all that. Now with that said, the solo does begin on F sharp on the 11th fret on the G string. Now the way I come into it is I actually rake my pick across the bass strings and then really lay into the vibrato on that F sharp. Try not to whiff that. Okay. So after I let that F sharp ring out, I drop down to E for a quick, and then we hit A on the 10th fret on the B string, okay? Now from there, we drop down a half step with my index finger, and there's I pluck it so it's, so you hit the E once, then I hit it again, hammer on, pull off on the 10th fret, and then land on that F sharp again on the G string. Now, the lick repeats again. So again, now instead of landing on F sharp on the G string on the 11th fret, we're actually gonna slide this index finger down to E at the 5th fret on the B string, okay? So the whole phrase is like this. Okay, so once we slide down to this E, I'm then gonna rake the bass strings again to get this D on the 3rd fret on the B string, and I'm gonna hammer on back up to E on the 5th fret. And then from there, it's a short half step bend. It's just got a nice little pop to it, and I use a little bit of a pinch harmonic. And then from there, I do a pretty substantial pinch harmonic right here on this C sharp with another half step bend. Then from there, we take this C sharp and I pull off to an open B. Then we land here on A, and then back to F sharp. It's a quick little lick. It's just a little bit of a segue to get us to the next section of the solo. So that's the whole lick. So from the top, we go. This next phrase basically starts on F sharp on the E string, and what we're doing is we're hitting the F sharp, pulling off to the open E, then landing here on C sharp, and then hitting the open E. Now it's played staccato with a little bit of a palm mute. And from there, we're gonna repeat this same pattern on the 4th fret, but instead of landing on that open E, we're gonna land back here on this G sharp. So, then back up to A. So what I did there is I landed on the 5th fret on the B string and then hit the open E. So we're essentially hitting the same note twice. All right, so this next part, we basically start here on A on the E string, and we land on B. So after we do this pull off, on onto the B string on the 5th fret. So A to open E, 5th fret B string, and then we land on B on the E string. E string, 7th fret. Okay? This next part of the lick, we're starting on C sharp, which is going to be on the E string, high E string on the 9th fret. And it's another pull off to the open E. And then once we do that pull off on E, we're going to land on the 7th fret on the B string and then the 7th fret on the E string. So that lick is, so one more time. Now from there, this is a bit of a finger stretch. From this E on the 7th fret, we're going to stretch up to the 12th fret on the E string with the pinky. And then walk your pinky down a half step to the 11th fret. And then we're going to pull off to the 7th. So at this point, I have got my index finger barred across the B string and the E string on the 7th fret. So what I'm doing is so when you walk down to that 11th fret with your pinky, you're pulling off to the 7th, and then you're hitting the 9th fret on the B string with my middle finger, and then hitting again the B on the E string on the 7th fret. So essentially, now that you have your first finger barred across the B and E strings on the 7th fret, the lick starts here on the by playing the 11th fret here with your pinky on the E string and pulling off to that 7th fret. So after you do that pull off, you're then going to hit the B string on the 9th fret with your middle finger. So after you do that little run, you then go up to the 12th fret with your pinky on the E string, and you're going to pull off to the 7th fret, and instead of going back to this 9th fret, you're actually going to just hit the B string on the 7th fret. Do you hear that little run? And then you repeat. So back to the 11th fret on the E string, pulling off to the 7th fret, and then landing back on the B string on the 9th fret. Okay, so after you get through that lick twice, we land back on the 11th fret. So it kind of sets up the little lick that gets us out of this phrase. So you're going to hit the 11th fret on the E string, then you're going to pull off to the 9th fret on the E string, and then pull off there to get you back to the 7th fret on the E string, and then you're going to land here at the 9th fret on the B string. So the way that whole run works, that's the lick. Then from there, we're basically this is how we get out of the solo. You slide up to the 14th fret on the B string. This is just a quick little blues lick, right? So we're on the 14th fret on the B string, and then we're gonna hammer on and pull off at the 17th fret. That lick is basically 14, 17, 14, and then you're gonna hit the 16th fret on the G string. So, and then after you hit that 16th fret, you're gonna go back to the 14th fret here on the B string, and then you're gonna hit the 17th fret on the B string, then you're gonna walk up to the E string at the 14th fret, and then the 17th fret on the E string, and then you're gonna make a whole step jump to the 19th fret on the E string, where you're gonna do a full step bend. And then after that full step bend, As you're ascending, you're gonna pull off back down to the 17th fret. And then do another full step bend on the 19th fret to end it. So, and that's it. That's the solo for Rebel. So again, Guitar World, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the Sick Riffs column. Very much appreciate it, and I hope to be doing something with you guys again in the future. Thank you and take care.